here or in the middle of us. Betsy Mistek is the Associate Director of the Lighthouse Center for Vital Living. It, um, it used to be known as Lighthouse Center for Vision Loss, but this is a little different take and an upgrade, and I'm so anxious to hear about this. So um, the theme or the purpose of the Lighthouse Center is helping people challenged by disabilities, vision loss, and aging, helping them to live vital lives. So that's something important to all of us. I'll just tell you a little bit about Betsy. She has a degree in social work and has been living in Duluth for over 20 years. She has been working for nonprofit organizations since her college days and feels that her calling is to serve those in need within her community. She has been with the Lighthouse for almost 6 years as Associate Director. She oversees the day-to-day operations, supervises programs, as well as program development, grant writing, and much more. Most recently, the Lighthouse changed their name to the Lighthouse Center for Vital Living and adopted a new mission to serve not only those with vision loss, but also serve individuals challenged by disabilities and aging to live vital lives. She is here to tell us more about these changes, current Lighthouse services, and volunteer opportunities with the Lighthouse. That's something we're interested in too. But I'm going to ask you to mute, not Betsy, but the rest of you can mute so that we can hear her program. And we'll just let you take it away, Betsy. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for the invite to speak. I'm really excited to be here, and I just have to say, you ladies are so great. It's been so great just observing you these last few minutes. I like the camaraderie and the connections that you have for each other. This is really nice to see. Yeah, so I do have a PowerPoint to share, and so whoever the host is, if you can give me that permission.
Mute. I have turned it on.
Okay, there we go. All right, and okay, so yeah, we like Patty said, we recently changed our name. We've been in Duluth for over 100 years, and we celebrated our 100 years. We had a little exhibit at the depot to celebrate that and all that, how the Lighthouse has changed and transformed in the last 100 years. And a year ago, we decided to expand our mission and just see how that would work, where we would work across all disability areas, not just vision loss. And it's been a great addition to the services that we provide. And so a couple months ago, we decided to change our name, fully adopt that new mission of helping people challenged by disabilities, vision loss, and aging to live vital lives, and rebrand ourselves. So we have a new name, a new logo, and a new mission. And so we're excited to share that with everybody. Yeah, so let's get started. So we provide a lot, excuse me, a lot of services, and there's a lot of information here. I'm going to give you the meat and potatoes, just to give you kind of a general overview. Our main focus is technology. And so I'll just read, for those of you who can't see the screen, I'll read what it says. Training in mainstream or assistive technologies to help people of all ages stay connected with loved ones, improve quality of life, or perform better in school or work. Possibilities include smart home technologies, health monitoring systems, computers, tablets, and more. So we provide individualized assessments and training We can do device demonstrations and loans. We have a hotline for people who need help with technology. And we have our Lighthouse store where we offer a range of aids and devices to make life easier for people with vision loss or other disabilities. Especially during COVID, this has been a huge part of all the work we do, because just like you ladies here, everything, meeting virtually instead of in person. And there's a lot of folks who don't have that technology, don't have, can't afford it, don't know how to work it. And so that's what we're here to do. And so we've been doing a lot of work with people on that. But that's only one thing that we do. We're a small, very small nonprofit. We, up until a few months ago, there's only 12 of us full-time and part-time people. We grew so much in the last several months that we had to hire 4 people. Now we're up to 16. We're doing a lot of different things. We also, so along with all the technology services that we're providing, we have occupational therapists and other who do independent living training. And again, it's an individualized assessment, refer to other resources, one-on-one instruction, to help people with their daily living activities, working, safe mobility, and leisure. And this is the majority of this is for folks with vision loss. We do a lot of work with older adults with vision loss and other conditions, but vision loss is the majority of the folks we work with in this program. And it's, I'm sure many of you have heard of macular degeneration, glaucoma, cataracts, retinitis pigmentosa, diabetic retinopathy. Those are a lot of the eye diseases that we work with, among other things. Sometimes it's the result of an accident or a stroke or whatever it is. Like we work with folks on that. And our OTs that work for us, they both have this special low vision certification that only like 80 other people do in the country. And Duluth has 2 of them, which is really amazing. So they are well educated, well experienced, very knowledgeable in not just occupational therapy, but vision loss as well. And so occupational therapy, maybe the first thing that comes to your mind is occupational job. That doesn't apply to me. But occupational therapy is you've heard of physical therapy, which is strengthening your muscles in your body. But occupational therapy is helping you learn how to adjustments, learning how to do things in a different way. Or whether that's your environment or how to cook without vision is one thing that we do a lot with people, how to use a magnifying device, a lot of different things. And it takes some time to learn how to do things a little differently when you've been doing them one way all your life. Excuse me. So our OTs are amazing. And those services we can bill medical insurance for, Medicare for 80% of those services. And then if you have supplement or secondary insurance, that'll pick up the other 20%. So it's a pretty minimal cost for most folks. So along with that, we also have what's called our adjustment to blindness training. And so this is the training that the Lighthouse has been doing for 100 years. Working with folks who have lost their vision or are losing their vision, to develop the tools they need, to be successful and work in life. And then kind of a branch off of that is we have a really amazing program for teenagers who are between the ages of 14 and 21, and it's called the Youth Transition Program, and they're transitioning into adulthood. So we work with them to basically to set them up for success and to to learn the skills that they need to be independent, moving away from home, going to college, starting a job, whatever it is. And it's all those skills. And sometimes it's daily living skills. Sometimes it's those soft skills like job interviewing and how to be appropriate out in the community. And also those hard things like how to handle disclosing their vision loss to their employer, and how to handle that conversation, and what accommodations they need to be successful in their work or in school, and the resources available. And so this program, it's really, really important for those kids. And that program, we serve kids from all over the state of Minnesota. And we have the largest program in Minnesota for this age group. And we have 22 kids in it right now, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot, considering there's like, I think 100 kids identified in the state of Minnesota that fall into this category. And we've got, 20% of them just in our one program. Yeah, and the really neat thing is these kids, they really like getting together. They meet weekly over Zoom, and then we have virtual Zoom camp weekends where they do more intensive training for several hours over the weekend. And our team has been really creative on how they deliver services virtually and doing some limited in-person training one-on-one, but most of it's been virtual through Zoom, and it's been really successful. The kids really like it because they're connecting with other kids who are just like them. Some of the kids we work with are just living in rural areas where they're the only one in their school district with the vision loss and nobody else understands. And so now they're able to connect with a whole group of other kids that know exactly what they're going through. So this program has continued to grow in the last 5 years that we've been doing it. It's a relatively new program. And when we started, I think we had 4 kids, and now we're up to 22. So that's a huge increase for us. And it's just going to keep getting bigger, to be honest, I think. So yeah, that's a big part of what we do. We also have our vision loss support group. We've been meeting virtually during COVID. We were trying Zoom. It was a little difficult for a lot of folks. So we were able to find a conference call system where people can sign up, give me their phone numbers, and then I program it in. And then when it's time to do the group call, I just click OK, and it calls everybody all at once. And then people just need to press 1 to enter, and it's good. So it's a lot easier for folks. And we also have peer mentoring. So a lot of, especially older folks who have developed macular degeneration, that's the most common one we see. That's when you lose your central vision, and it's a difficult journey for many people. And so we decided it was time to help people through that journey, and not just from us as professionals, but for someone who's walked in their shoes. And so we have mentors who are trained on how to be a mentor, and then we pair them up with someone who needs that emotional support. And it has actually grown into these pairings have grown into full-blown friendships. They might call once a week or twice a month or every day, whatever it is. And it's just connecting with somebody who understands. And it's been a really successful program that has continued to grow as well. For COVID, we were approached through the Department of Health, Minnesota Department of Health, to participate as being a COVID community coordinator. And so we have specific grant money to support this program, where we're providing access and information to COVID testing, PPE, and other COVID-related information and referrals. That also gave us additional funds to purchase more technology to distribute to people for older adults and people with disabilities of any age, to get them a computer, an iPad or something, so they can stay connected to family, medical doctors, support groups, school learning, and whatever that is. And so we have the devices that we can loan to them. We can do the training, any adaptations that need to be done to them, we can help them with that. And we hired Samantha Smingler to oversee that program, and she used to be the inclusivity coordinator at the aquarium, at the Great Lakes Aquarium. And so she's very aware of people with disabilities and needs and whatnot. And so she was the perfect person to do that. Excuse me. So as far as funding, like I said, our occupational therapy, we are funded through, we can bill medical insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, and we're in network with the major providers like Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Medica, Health Partners, that kind of thing. We can also bill waivers, which is for people on medical assistance who need additional services. It's special funding for special things, and we had to sign up to be a part of that, but that is helpful for us to provide services. We have what's called Title III funds, is the Older Americans Care Act, that's federally funded. And so that's a new form of funding for us this year. So that helps pay for services and devices that we provide. We are a vendor for the Minnesota State Services for the Blind. Excuse me. And that's for the adjustment to blindness training. So they refer clients who have lost their vision or losing their vision, specifically for the blindness training. And we have a whole host of other grants to help support us to do the work that we do. It's kind of a puzzle getting it all together for us to do this work and to be sustainable as well. The most recent grant that we have is called our Tech for Healthy Aging, and we're doing this in collaboration with Live Life Therapy Solutions in the cities. And so between our two organizations, we're able to cover the whole state of Minnesota, and specific to technology, serving older adults that aren't in nursing homes or group homes with disabilities or chronic health condition. Excuse me. I have a tickle. So this will be helping them get the technology they need, providing the training and support, and again to kind of just help people stay connected in these kind of isolating times. And so this is a brand new grant. We're just getting started with it, and we're really excited to collaborate with another agency and to provide services all over the state. So a couple of Lighthouse stories that I have for you. And these stories were shown on Channel 10, I don't know, a couple months ago. Excuse me. And because we were nominated for an award, we didn't win, but that's okay. But these stories were put out there, so we're happy about that. So the woman on the left, she's in a nursing home, and her daughter was unable to visit her because the nursing home was in lockdown. And her mother felt like she was just going to die alone because nobody could come see her. So the daughter contacted us, and what we did is we provided each of them with an Echo Show, which is the device with the screen on her table there. And so this way the daughter can just drop in on the mom, and it's very easy. It's all voice activated. I'm so sorry. And so they can have coffee, tea, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever it is. I think they check in on each other twice a day, and it's been a game changer for both of them to be connected even during COVID. And the woman on the right, she's holding a big iPad, Her name is Saya, and she's actually an immigrant from Finland. And she wanted to connect to her Finnish roots. And so she asked us to help her to get audiobooks in Finnish, and how to use Facebook, and just so that she can be connected to her friends and family in Finland. And again, that was a game changer for her to be connected to her heritage like that. And so she uses it every day, and she was just really happy to be, even though she couldn't see, she was able to still be able to have that ability to use that. All right, volunteering. So our biggest need right now is to have volunteer readers. The person in the picture there, her name is Michelle. She's our volunteer coordinator. And so right now we have volunteers that come in each and every day to record the Duluth News Tribune content, including the obituaries. That's the big thing, so that listeners in our area have access to local printed news. This is actually a free service provided through the state of Minnesota for anyone who has difficulty reading the printed word due to a vision loss or other disability. We are looking for volunteers who have time once a month to come in and help. It's a 3-hour commitment once a month. And we do follow CDC guidelines to ensure proper distancing and other processes that are adhered to. So this service, so listeners in the area, they have access to this specific program, and it's a 24-hour, 7-day-week program, and we just record the news for the listeners in our area, and they just tune in to listen to it when they want to. It's a special program within a program kind of thing. Yeah, it's a great service for folks who can no longer see to read the newspaper, and don't, maybe they don't know Braille, or they, don't want to deal with the computer, and they can just listen to it. And obituaries is the biggest thing that they like hearing about. They want to know what's happening to the folks in the area. So yeah, it's a really nice service. We have, I think, about 70 or 80 folks who come in and do this. Like I said, they usually just once a month, and it's a 3-hour commitment, and yeah, it's a great way to give back. And there's, like I said, we're always looking for volunteers. And that's my contact information. Are there any questions or comments?
We'll have to unmute then, ladies, if don't forget you're all muted. So
I have a question.
Okay.
Where are you housed? Are you still out in that building on 46th, or where are you?
Yep, we're still in that building, but there's only a few of us that are in there on a daily basis. Most of us are working from home. There's just a couple people that, like our building managers, there every day, and one of our instructors has 4 little boys at home, and he just can't find a quiet spot to work, so he goes in every day.
But that's where you're doing the recording of the newspaper, correct?
Yes. Yep, that's where it is. Yeah. In the building, it's closed to the public, so it's not like people are just, walking in, going through there. We monitor that really closely, and like I said, keeping it clean and distancing.
How do you access your store?
We do have an online store through our website. It's kind of under construction right now as well. But if you want a catalog, you can call and we can mail a catalog to people, and you can order over the phone.
Thank you.
Yep.
What
kinds
hours do people read?
9 to noon. So the from 9 to 10 o'clock, you do it with a partner, and you go through the content of the paper for that day. We have online access to it since the paper is only being delivered twice a week, I think now. So we have online access to it, and then you and your partner would decide who's reading what, and then you read from 10 till noon, or whenever you're done. If it's before noon, that's fine too. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. Pretty simple.
If you're talking about a catalog, what kinds of things can you order?
Low vision devices. We have like magnifiers, talking clocks and watches, some kitchen aids, large print puzzle books, all sorts of things. Mainly focused on vision loss still, but any like adaptive devices. Like a really cool thing that's really simple for folks who can't see, like buttons on their microwave or their stove. We have what's called bump dots, and they adhere to the buttons on the stove or the microwave, and so you can feel where the buttons are, and you know, something simple like that even.
When people read, is it taped? And so the people who want to listen can listen at any time then?
Yeah, it gets recorded and then it gets uploaded at a certain time. And then for folks who have signed up to listen to that particular newspaper, they just click on that and they can listen to it anytime. Yeah.
So if you really garble it up, you could re-record it.
Yeah.
Like if we had a hysterical fit or something.
I suppose you could, but
Okay.
yeah. But you know, people are pretty gracious and patient and understanding, you know, knowing it's, you know, you're just a person reading the paper. It's, you know, it's not going to be perfect.
So any other books and things like that, they would rely on books on tape, or the newspaper is the only thing that is read locally to them or for them.
Correct. So the radio is kind of a branch off the talking or the audiobooks program through the state, and it's actually a national federal program, and that anyone can get across the country. And so they get a player. It's a digital player, but it looks like, remember those old-fashioned cassette players, you know, those portable ones with the handle? Like that's kind of what it looks like. But everything is digital, and the cartridges, they're about the size of a cassette tape, but it's a digital USB port like you would put in your computer, but they're inserted in this cartridge, so it's easier for people to handle. And so you're not losing a little tiny USB port, but it's along the same lines of you know, it kind of works the same way. You stick it in and you press play. And again, that's a free service through the government, and it's a great way to access audiobooks. And it's all done through the mail. You get the cartridges in the mail. You can sign up for specific authors or specific genre or magazines or any other periodical. And they send you so many at a time. And then when you're done with them, you just put them back in the cartridge and flip over the mailing card that's on there. So, and put it back in the mail, no charge to you. And then when they get those, they send you the rest in your, you know, more in your list, and you just kind of keep going like that. It's a really, really great smooth service for folks.
So if somebody is diagnosed with macular degeneration, would they then, how would they just call you? They would be responsible, or is there a doctor referral, or how do you?
Yeah, good question. So it happens both ways. People who have been diagnosed with macular degeneration will call us themselves and just say, I'm dealing with this, I need help with this. Other times we get a referral from the doctor for the occupational therapy, and then we contact them. But if you or someone you know who you think might be interested in services, we still need that doctor referral, whether you initiate that or we initiate that. That doesn't matter. You know, we can do it and coordinate that. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that there were some technology classes available for seniors that are struggling with new equipment or
Mm-hmm.
just not able to keep up with a class level.
Mm-hmm.
What do you offer for that?
Yeah, so that's actually through the city of Duluth. There's a program they call their legacy program, and where they kind of send us folks who are interested in those classes, and we set it up kind of through them. They send us the people, we provide the equipment if they need it. Right now there aren't any. I think that's the only class we have going on right now. But if there's an interest for something, you know, maybe for people who don't qualify for that program, you know, we've done this before where we provided just some general, like kind of open house times where people can stop in or call and get support on a one-on-one basis. And that usually tends to work out better because everybody's needs are individual. You know, like you might know email, but don't know Facebook, and somebody else will be like, well, I know Facebook, but I don't know anything about Word, you know. So we try to, you know, we meet you where you're at and help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve.
And this would be at your facility?
Probably right now, no, we're trying to do everything virtual. And we have the ability to do that through like a Zoom call.
On a one-to-one basis?
Yep.
Well, very interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of budget do you operate on per year?
Our overall budget is around, I think it's under $1 million, so like 900 some thousand is our.
Okay. And the funding comes, do you get any third-party payer support for the services you offer?
Define third-party payers.
Insurance companies
Yeah.
covered from insurance.
Yes,
It's not all donated.
Correct. Yeah. For
Okay.
the occupational therapy specifically, we bill medical insurance for that.
Okay.
Yep. And otherwise, the Minnesota State Services for the Blind funds a good, you know, our adjustment to blindness training, and then we get donations and do some fundraising, and then the rest is all grants. And that big building that we're in, we own half of it. Essentia owns the other half. We just use a very small portion of the part of the building that we own, and then Essentia rents the rest of it. And so that rental income does help with our operating costs and overhead as well.
But you still need donations, don't you?
Yep, we still need donations. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad to know that.
Yeah. And we do get some memorials after people who receive our services, you know, instead of flowers, donate to the Lighthouse. We've gotten that. We've had a couple of years now, we've had an event called Dining in the Dark, where it's a fundraiser. We have a silent auction and whatnot. And for the entree portion of the meal, people put on blindfolds and eat their dinner in the dark. And it's just in a way to experience something a little different, and, you know, education and information. And the not last year, in 2019, we held it in at the Graceland Ballroom, and it was amazing, and we had a great turnout. And, you know, there's music and entertainment and awards and stuff. And
I went to that 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it was so much fun. And I was just dreadful at eating. The training you provided didn't help me at all.
Oh,
But you had fun, right?
I had a wonderful time. And you
Yeah.
got to take your blindfold off. So the part of the entree that ended up on the table around you, you could actually eat then.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was very educational.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a good experience. Like it's fun. And that, that kind of event is actually lots of blindness organizations across the country are doing those events because they're so well received. And, it's a fun way to experience something, a little different and challenging, just so you get an idea of what it's like, to not be able to see your dinner, what you're eating.
I hope you can do it again soon.
We want to.
Yes.
Once we're done with our quarantining and isolating, we're definitely going to hit the ground running and get another event in the works. Yep.
can I just say something to give Lois comfort? At least nobody at your table could see you.
Well, not until we all took our blindfolds
Oh.
off, and then we compared our success
no.
or lack of success.
Yeah, and like Lois said, we have a couple of our instructors, and one of them actually is blind himself. He's been blind all his life, and to kind of give some tips, and how to do this, because think about it, how would you go about doing this? And it's a little bit harder than you think it is. One thing, when we were able to give like in-person tours at our facility, we would have people in the occupational therapy program at Scholastica come in for tours. And one of the things we had them do was be under the blindfold, make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was very sticky and very messy. But again, it's just that, that experience and education and information on how to do things a little differently. And it is possible. It is possible.
Anybody else have any other questions or comments? Okay. Well, Betsy, this has been wonderful. We've learned a lot, and it's really good for all of us to know more about what's happening in the community. And apparently this change of vision for you, is vision the right change of vision is just brand new. When did that start?
Well, a year ago, we expanded the mission, and then just a couple, 2-3 months ago, we fully adopted the new mission and decided to change our name and rebrand ourselves. And so I'm in the process of developing a new website and working on getting the word out. So when I was approached to speak and present here, I was so excited because yes, get the word out.
Oh, absolutely.
So
This is,
yeah.
Can you explain to me your logo with the little heart moon, half moon? Yeah, to explain to me how that was designed.
Well, yeah, so that process, even the process for changing our name was done collaboratively with our board of directors, which actually is another way if people wanted to volunteer to be on our board of directors, that, we're always looking for more folks with that, but that was a collaborative experience with 4 staff and 4 board members, and really breaking down who we are, what we do, and come up with the right name that reflects that. And when it came to the logo, we worked with the company Swim Creative locally here in Duluth, and they came up with a few different ones. And the feedback that on the logo that we chose was people saw different things into it, and they were all very positive. What I liked about it was the fluidity of the circles. Some people saw it as like the moon and all, in the different phases, but it was like possibility, openness, just like that vision, And for me, I liked the fluidity of it, and just how life is fluid. You know, life is always changing, and we're here to help folks deal with those changes.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We've appreciated you coming, and hopefully
Yeah.
you're going to hear from us. So
Yes,
as
absolutely.
individuals or groups.
Yeah,
All
if you
right.
have any questions or anything, feel free to give me a call. My direct line is 218-461-8961.
Oh, got that. Okay, got that.
And
Okay.
and Patty, you have my email as well. So
I do. Okay.
all right.
All right. Thank you. We always clap at the end of our program, so we'll do it individually. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day. Have a
You
good
too.
day. Okay. So does anybody need to stay on and talk to anybody? Sometimes that happens. Are we all anxious to get on with our weekend?